Yes, everybody, we are back. It is that time of the week again, bitch. It's an all-new season of Old School, New School Comedy Podcast, and I am your host, Christy Miller. I've been on a hiatus for a couple of weeks or so because I was on the road with Andrew Dice Clay, which was a lot of fun. And then I turned 54 on the 15th, and that was traumatic. So when I was done slitting my wrists and crying in the corner, I came back to do the show. And what a way to start a new season of Old School, New School Comedy than with my guest this week. She was actually on the show in the very beginning stages of a year and a half ago. And she's like we call each other our Hersbands. She's my sister from another mister. She's in a movie now called Coney Island Cousins. Oh, geez, they slept together, you on the cyclone there. And she has a weekly show every Wednesday night at Broadway Comedy Club right here in Midtown, New York at 8 o'clock.
No, 7:15.
Anyway, 7:15.
I changed it.
Because they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
So this is my homegirl. She's an old school comic. She's an OG and probably the best show host you'll ever have on a show. If you want a good host, that's our show. Miss Janice Messitte.
Yes, and the crowd that we don't have goes wild. The pillows are so beautiful.
And the dog takes a shit.
With 3 legs and no ass and no balls. How you doing, Christy?
I'm good, Mama.
Birthday.
Oh, well, thank you.
I was going to buy you a shirt that says, fuck you, you fucking fuck. But then I said, I don't know. I'd probably just rather give her the money when I have it.
I'd rather get the money.
I figured you're such a Jewish fucking Italian now. Jesus, you're like a pizza bagel to go.
Pizza bagel. Yeah.
Wednesdays.
Jew-Italians.
Oh my God. The only difference is the sauce and the bread.
Exactly. The only difference is our Lent lasts a lot longer than your Yom Kippur.
Well, the guilt. We can't handle guilt. We don't do it too well.
We love they love torture, but we really love torture.
Torture.
So what's happening, girl? I haven't seen you in a while.
I tell you, I love your new studio. It's actually beautiful. You just renovated the place. It looks great.
Yeah.
What's been doing?
I built that wall.
I know. I built this city on nothing. Hey. Oh, I like that.
You like that?
I feel like we have Doc Sevenson in the corner.
Do we? That probably dead.
Probably dead.
Like Weekend at Bernie's. Anyway.
Jeez, we come with our own music.
We are our own lounge act.
Oh, my God. This is amazing. I'm so glad I came down here. They were doing a street fair by my house.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You know something? I love entertaining because there's me and then there's a crowd.
Yes.
But when you're walking in the crowd and they're schmying around and they're kikiing and they're looking at schmutz, I'm like, Jesus Christ, could you move your fucking ass? I don't care if you have a walker. Let's go.
I love that it's a street fair in New York City, the dirtiest streets in the entire country.
You want some food?
Here, you want to eat? Let me fry it up on the sidewalk for you there. Wait. I'm going to wait till the homeless guy pisses so I could get a little extra
flavor. Then you go downtown to Little Italy and you go to the San Gennaro.
I do San Gennaro every year for my birthday, yes.
I stopped going after it looked like I was doing coke from the Zeppelis. You know what I'm saying?
I only go down there for the Zeppelis. There's a Zeppeli guy down there I always torture. And he's like, you're here every year. And I'm like, why do you remember me?
Because he's miserable.
Yes.
And the Worry Loves Company once a year.
Hello. San Gennaro this year was so bad. There was no San or Gennaro.
What they do? Have booths? Like
they had the booths, but it's like the old school Little Italy San Gennaro Fest was small. It was like a block or two,
and they didn't have to wear masks.
And it was great. And now it's like blocks and blocks and blocks, and nothing to do with Italians or the church or San Gennaro. It's more like, I fell in love with San Pedro.
Ave Maria, Ave Maria. We're our own musical act too. You get bar mitzvahs, weddings, hey, you get funerals. We're great at funerals.
And street fairs.
You know what's great? That we're having a great time. Nobody's gonna want to watch this shit. These two just having a normal conversation like it's midnight and you just work with dice. Go, how was it? I'm so tired I didn't call you last night. I'm like, I'm sorry, you only had 3,000 people. And then another woman that came. I was like, oh my God, Christy, how'd you do? You like, it was great.
Yeah, the shows were phenomenal.
And then Belushi came in.
Yeah, Jim Belushi came to the
living one.
Chicago show. The Chicago show. Well, not the looks of him. I don't think he's living.
Thanks, Doc. Wake up. Take a nap.
Thanks, Dick Severinsen. But
Oh my God, so
but
good.
you know, it was a great show. I wore them out.
Listen, first of all, it's not easy. It's never been easy being the female. But when you're the female in the show and you're hosting, I mean, does it get any better than that?
No, when you're up first, you get all you can.
Set the
It's
tone.
yeah, it's a blank canvas, and you set it up. And I set it up. I set the table nice for Dice.
You did nice, Dorinda. You
I
did
wanted
nice.
to make it nice.
And you know, at the end of the day,
And
it's night. But other than that, how are you?
God, these are annoying.
Boy, I just flew in. My arms are tired.
No,
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 okay.
you don't get that.
We don't have enough battery life.
I should program the cricket sound in there too.
God,
But
crickets.
yeah, so the shows were great, and I tortured this woman late at night when I'd get home.
Because I'm
from the
doing
show.
up.
She's the only one that stays up till all hours of the day.
Yeah, up. It's 2 a.m. It's 11 in California. I'm in the shower. I'm like, what?
It's midnight, and I'm calling her. It's 3 a.m. You're still awake,
How
right?
was the show? The show was great, but I had to fix Dice's shower head. Jesus Christ, come to my house, would you? I mean, Jews love somebody who could fix shit. You have no idea.
I do.
I'm married a guy
Trust-
who could fix shit. I'm like, take that, the wall unit. I said, look, the ceiling fan is broken. It's not working. I said, could you please take down the wall, open up the thing, and see what's doing there? My husband takes about the whole wall, the socket, and there he goes, honey, it's the remote.
Anyway.
So I married him.
Yeah, good night. Yeah. Well, trust me, he's like, how do you know how to do all this?
Because he calls the guy.
Yeah, so I said, I come from a long line of white trash.
Do
go,
it yourself or it doesn't get done.
I go, when you come from poor white trash, it's just 1 week shy of a prison term.
Listen,
So
if
you
got
get
electric
creative.
tape, we're good.
Yeah.
Good.
And I was like, you need that, you need that shower tape, the
Absolutely. So it
pipe
doesn't ruin
tape,
the wood.
and it seals it. And you go, there's a sealant tape, and you go, and his kid actually said, I think I have some of that in the toolbox. I go, then why didn't you do it?
Because he's retarded.
Retarded.
Like the rest of us.
Right? And oh, I'm so retarded. But
I hope they don't cut this because we say the word retard.
I'm editing it.
I mean,
I'm a one-man band in this
from
game.
a whole line of crazy.
So speaking of,
Yes.
tell us Janice Messitte, let's get to the Janice Messitte story, because you and I could kiki all night and laugh our asses off.
And by the way, Kiki, if you don't know what it means, it's not the girl hanging out in the back who needs a ride home. It's Kiki with kikiing. Hi,
They
what's
know,
going?
my fans know. They know
They know fans, ceiling fans.
they know. They follow Christianity.
Oh God. Vomit.
I think you should.
Oh God.
You're Jewish. You're a little nauseous.
No, I'm verklempt. I got schmuckus in my tuckus. Hey, folks, you like the lighting? It's beautiful in here. I'm blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche.
So, Janice Messitte,
Yes.
as a comedian,
Actress, comedian, singer, host of the best open mic in Manhattan.
No, she only hosts open mic every week because she just likes to yell at people.
But I love my kids. I wanted them to stay alive. You know, our generation, a couple of them were dead. So if I could keep them alive just so when I'm miserable, they could take care of me, I'm good. I'm good.
So, how long have you been doing stand-up?
Oh, Christy, why don't you just ask me how much I weigh and how old I am?
Okay, how much do you... I know how much you weigh. I know how old you are.
$1.50. I haven't said that in a long time. I'm hoping to get down to 120, 115. Oh, Ozempic, I can't afford it, but hey, you suck enough, huh? And you get the what was I saying? I'm thinking I'm dieting now.
How long have you been doing
Over
stand-up?
30 years.
Yeah,
I've been performing my whole life.
yeah.
Stand-up was just another way to keep working when I moved into the city because, you know, you didn't get into a theater show right away.
Yeah, because you started off as an actress.
Actor, singer, and I had a whole one-woman show, cabaret doing, and then Sweetwater's closed, and there went all my money.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then comedy called.
And then comedies.
Comedies where all the
Just show
actresses
up in
go
a
to
clean
die.
shirt, yeah. And if you make it through this, and listen, me and Gladys, I've known her for years. You know Gladys.
Gladys Simon is like a legend in New York.
She's like the godmother, totally. Like the
Yeah.
I'm like the aunt.
No,
godmother.
she's like
You're the survivor.
Yeah, no, she's like the Pope,
Yes.
And then you're like the cardinal that's like coming up underneath
I
her.
get to wear a big schmutz. I'm good.
I love that Catholics don't wear schmatas, but
You
hey,
wear like a big robe, and God knows what goes
they
on.
wear a dress and a fabulous hat, darling.
Thank you.
They are so gay. I love my church, but they are. but yeah, because you've been around forever, like
Thank
a lot
you.
of us.
I love that she's like, hello, who's older than you? They're dead. They're dead. They won't be doing that again. Let me tell you, they only get one to do that.
But this is what I love about us old school, because the thing is that we have the experience.
Right.
We have the the grit and the grime and the hours. Like they say, 10,000 hours to be an expert. We have like 100,000 hours in our lives.
Does that include the phone calls in night too?
Yeah, it's all of it.
Cut yourself. It was a bad crowd.
Yeah, but it's like these new kids think that they're headliners.
No.
3 years in.
Well, let me just say something, okay?
Mhm.
Can we talk? Well, the kids today, they all do industry shows all over the city. They bring their people, and then they get a tape, and they get a couple spots. And they think they're comics. God bless America. I get it, because we all need help getting people in the audience. I totally get it. Trust me, I've been on streets selling my jokes for nothing, trying to get people in. But the bottom line is, I don't know what the fuck I was going to say.
Good night.
Listen, this is Alzheimer's. I don't know. I remember what I'm saying.
Alzheimer's.
Let's do a podcast on a Sunday. Yeah. What the fuck?
Well, you were supposed to
What
be here
the fuck?
Thursday, but you and I both had spots that night, and I forgot I had a spot. Will you fucking hold the
I'm
mic?
sorry. It's like a dick. It hasn't been in my hand for a while.
It's black. I thought you'd hang on to it for a while.
Hello. Remember me?
Anyway, so what were we saying?
So what happened
To the young kids.
is they do a couple of shows.
Yeah.
I coach some people too.
Right.
And right away they think like, I'm on Broadway, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's about let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. What it's really about is survival. If you can get through those nights where you may not have a spot and you're just hanging out, or somebody says, come down, maybe I can get you on, whatever it is, always stay fucking humble. Because the one thing I see about these new jacks is they think like some of them are a pain in the ass and they'll get somewhere because they're a pain in the ass and it's not their talent. A lot of these kids, to me, it's never the talent. It's who's the biggest pain in the ass.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
And I was never like that.
Me either.
I said to Dina the other night at the club, I go, I can't lick anybody's butthole dry. I don't know what these fucking people want from me. And she was dead. She thought, lick the butthole dry. Ah, bitch, I'm dead.
That's how we get ahead in that
That's how you
world.
stay alive.
I need to pause for a technical break. We'll be right back. Sorry about that, people. Little camera difficulties were happening right in front of my face, so I had to stop it because
you're a
that
one-woman
bitch.
show.
One-woman show. Yes.
We could be here every weekend. Yes, buy your ticket.
We are here every week.
Two drinks. No, but I was saying about these kids is I feel bad for someone because they bring the people, they do their spots, and they get a couple of guest spots. And then they, God bless America. Some of these cats are getting like, you get a spot like on a night, like a Monday or whatever it is, there's a couple of people. And even if there's people, it's like, don't get ahead of yourself. Because some of them think they're like better than they are, which is like,
Well, it's
always been that way.
It's so funny. It's like they get a 5-minute tape,
Yes.
right? That with their friends, they pack it with their friends and they get a good tape at a club that tapes for you. And it's like an industry showcase.
Mhm.
And then they go, I'm a headliner. No, bitch, you are a head giver.
Yes.
Okay, let's keep it 100.
Yes.
And
You
it's like,
count the heads that come into place.
and then they go viral on TikTok, and then the clubs are calling you, hey, do you want a feature for this person? Really? Okay. And I've said, all right, I'll do it.
Well, if it
Because then I
pays-
can, well, the thing is, too, because, like, A, it's their crowd I would never be in front of, but B, I'll just blow them off the stage until they learn. I'm sorry, I'm a hardhead. If, you got to learn. And, are you her dog is scraping
Come here.
his ass on my carpet.
Come over. Sit down. Sit down. Stop doing that.
I do that in public,
He's
I
a
get
Puerto Rican
banned.
Jew. He's got an ass, this one. None like me. No ass at all.
Stop scraping your butthole, Prince. He's the dog formerly known as Prince.
That's why I call him Boo Boo. Boo Boo.
You're an
Yeah,
IUD symbol. No, he's
Aw.
adorable.
He's cute.
He's really cute.
I mean, people are miserable on the train, right? And I have him in my bag. Now, you have to understand, I went from a pit bull to a purse. And he pops his little head out. and people that are miserable on the train all of a sudden, ay, que linda, ay, Dios mío, oh my God, he's so cute. And I'm like, me? No, the dog.
No, the dog. That happened to me. I was walking on 49th going to the gym, and this dude had this beautiful pit bull, because, you know, that's my weakness is a pit bull. Well, any dog, really, but pit bulls are my babies.
Well, they're all muscle like you.
And stupid.
Well.
Anyway, so
that.
walking, so I always say hi to dogs. I don't address the people because I could give a fuck about the person attached to them. And I say, hi, doggy. And they'll come up and let me pet them. And the guy was like, oh, yeah. You're like, oh, not you, the dog.
Yeah,
and he's
really.
like, damn.
Back down, motherfucker. Back on. True.
But
people love animals more than they love people.
because animals are unconditional and they're not trying to get something off you.
They don't need stage time.
Yeah, well. Anyway.
Thank God for the music.
I know. At least the food's good here.
There is none.
Good night.
Bring your own.
That's the Gentile restaurant. There's no food.
You know what I always say? If you look at a mitzvah wedding or a sweet 16 hungry, that's not a good sign. After a wedding one night, my mother goes, we got to go to the diner. I'm starving. I was like, this isn't a good wedding then.
Yeah.
I said, Ma, take money out of the envelope. Let's go to the diner.
In your wedding dress. That's such a New York thing.
My
to go to the diner in a wedding
not
dress.
me. Trust me. It was arranged. They closed at airports in Florida. I was like, this should have known it was going to be an oy vey. A big oy vey.
So now being in the game as long, you know, you've done everything, you've seen everything, and, you know.
Thank God I wasn't hanging out with Diddy.
I wish I was, because then I knew, no, I wasn't getting no dick.
But a white outfit.
And 784 dildos.
What? And 1,000 bottles of
Baby oil.
what the fuck was that?
Lube.
I know, but like
Put baby
it was
oil
so
on the
funny.
hole.
Jaguar writes going, you know, a bottle of baby oil will last me at least 6 months.
Not when you use it the way he is.
I'm like, I don't know about baby oil.
No, they use it in
I know.
greasy. I go, what do you want to fuck a baby's butthole? Da 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 da.
Take that out.
I don't know. So tell us about your show every Wednesday at Broadway Comedy Club.
There's old, new, bar and blue. There's everybody. I have somebody for everybody. Kids that are coming up, kids that are, you know, are always doing their own shows now. It's nice because this way we have a place where everybody can come and just like chip in. I'm very turned off with the people that don't want to help out. It's like, don't hit me up.
Yeah.
Oh, can I come and do
That's
the
everybody.
show? Yeah, bring a friend, bring in 2 friends, whatever.
Yeah, help out the room.
Yeah,
That's what we're here
I
for.
said, you know, if you don't have an audience and you're doing a stand-up show, especially stand-up, it's like, am I in the bathroom doing my routine when I was 9? Give me a break. I never did it in the bathroom. I did it in my room and was in front of a big mirror. You know what I mean? Not the bathroom.
Yeah,
You want
but
to-
it's like, people get arrogant. It's like, because you know, in the 90s we came up with the bringer shows because the clubs were dying.
But you have to. Listen,
you have to
Facebook
bring
is the same
people.
way. If you don't have people in the seats, it's like, what fun is it?
Yeah.
You know, nobody's cheering for you.
You know, it's like, you know, there's times I've been, like this week I did some spots, and one of the clubs, there was 5 people in the audience.
But those could have been the best 5 people you ever met.
They sounded like, when I was upstage, and when I got on stage, I mean, they were really into the show, but when I got on stage and I was able to feel it, it felt like 500 people in that room. They were screaming loud, clapping, crying, laughing. It was we had the best time. And then last night I did 2 shows out in Jersey City at the Laugh Tour, Rich Kiamko's room, and I love his club. And the first show was 7 people, and it sounded like 700. And then the second show was sold out, and that crowd was just as fire. But it's like,
You could be in
it's what
front
you
of
make of it.
200 and they sit there like this with their wives, like, okay, I can't wait till this is over.
Yeah.
You could be with 5 people and they can make you feel like you're the only person in the world.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And it's what you give to that audience, you know. And a lot of these young, and I was going back to when I was saying the 10,000 hours of experience, us old heads, we've been through it all. We grew up and developed as polished acts without social media.
Well, there wasn't, you had to like do
You
the
had to
rounds.
be-
You had to hang out.
You had to hang out, and you had to
talk
be
to people.
But you also had to be funny.
Yeah.
Because when people heard you were funny, they wanted you in their room because that was going to draw an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Because people back in the 90s and the early 2000s, we were all about put on a funny show so people will come out and watch and get comedy booming again, because that was the dark days, because I was at the Comedy Store all those years. So during the dark times at the store was like brutal, and just trying to do anything to get people in the doors, so you had to be good. And when you were good, you would get phone calls. Hey, I got this room. I want to book you because you're funny.
Yeah.
Not because, how many followers you have on Instagram?
And you know what I find with those people? The people have like 1 million followers, whatever. God bless them. I'm happy for you. A lot of them are bored. And number 2 is,
Yeah.
they're not showing up to the shows.
No.
So why do people look at that? They don't show up for the shows. So this person I have on my show has 1 million followers, and nobody comes to the show to see them?
Yeah.
Come on, don't give me that song and dance bullshit. Because you know what's funny? The people that don't have 1 million followers are people that are like running around trying to get everybody to come to the show.
Yeah.
And you know what? I help people out. If you can't afford a cover, I'll give you half, 2 for 1. I don't give a shit. But you have to have people in the audience, especially when we're taping and have a DJ. It's like I really want them to feel the experience of what it's like to be a professional comedian.
But also to give the audience a good show too, because a lot of times these kids don't understand. I call it empty chair syndrome. They all have it. When there's a room of empty chairs, look out for the cords, kid.
He's fine.
And because he'll pull this shit right off. It's not secure. Anyway, if you have a room full of empty chairs and like 2 people, right? Hold on.
No. Yeah. Go away. Go sit in the dark by yourself. Go play in traffic.
It's so funny. You guys
No
should see
balls and no teeth.
Come here. Come here. Come here. I'm going to show you to the people. Come here. Come here, you little bastard. Come here.
This is the mascot.
This is
everything.
This is who's running around.
I did a movie premiere the other night.
Hi.
They took pictures of him on the red carpet. I'm like, really? You know, really?
Yeah, of course. He's adorable. So, what you would call it? Like, it's an empty chair syndrome. So they cower to the fact there's only 4 people in the audience, and they don't know how to do a show. I remember this was.
They don't have people skills anymore.
Yeah, they're so intimidated by an empty room. They're so afraid to look silly in front, and it's like, get over yourself. I remember one night years ago when Dina was still booking Tuesday nights at Broadway Comedy Club.
I was the host every week.
You hosted, I closed. Done. It was every Tuesday for a long ass time. It was fun.
Even when you got hit in the face, you came with those fucking sunglasses like Maud.
Well, I came in with a black eye and made fun of myself for half an hour.
And Maud sunglasses are like huge.
So anyway, it was one night, there was 4 people in the audience and they were together. They were a family from like Ohio. And they had a tow truck repo business.
Oh my God.
This is how I remember them, because every comic went up. It was like 2017, because Eric Marino just moved here.
Yeah.
And he was writing on Saturday Night Live. So I go, come with me. I'm closing Tuesday night. And the writers were off Tuesday.
Right.
So he came to, show his face and meet people.
That's when I met him.
Yep. And so we're sitting in the back, and every comic's like, oh, what the fuck, man? There's nobody here.
You and I never
could
do
have
that.
emailed it in. I feel like, what do you want to talk about? And shitting on these 4 people who paid full price to come to a show in New York to be entertained.
And they're a whole family, so they really want to be there.
Yeah, so they were like, and I'm sitting in the back, and Eric and I are like, I'm going to kill this motherfuckers, right? So when it's my spot, when they bring me up, I open up my set with, you fucking pieces of shit. And I annihilated these kids. I yelled at them for treating them so poorly.
And I go on my smoke break.
Yeah, I know. So and there's these 4 people. I'm like, do your fucking show,
Don't
asshole.
judge.
You're gonna make these people feel bad for coming and supporting us? They were the coolest people. So I did 20 minutes for them. I was sweating. I gave them a whole fucking theater
She was
show.
on the floor lifting her legs and her
I still do
leggings.
that.
I know, and you could see the sweat. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh
so-
God, how attractive.
So I gave them a fucking show.
Yes, you
got off stage, and they were taking pictures. I got their business card.
They went home with you. You went to their hotel room, had
They-
breakfast.
I cooked for them.
You worked them out.
Yeah, we went to the gym. I repoed a truck while they were here.
I said, come on over. Do I have a family for you?
I took a tow truck. I towed all the cars out of the city.
And towed the comics right out of there.
Exactly. So, but it's like, that's how I remember they had a repo business. And it's just like, and they were like, thank you. That was
That
so
could
much
be,
fun.
you know what I always say to my comics? I go, listen, there's not a lot of people in the audience. It's okay. But you never know. That could be Paramount's grandson. That could be, Steven Spielberg's kid. You have no friggin' clue. When I sold clothes to people on Broadway, right by Lincoln Center, I had so many celebrities I was dressing. You never know who somebody is.
You don't.
I mean, and one person can make a whole difference.
Yeah,
You know?
always, because like they say,
That
if you
could be the best crowd you ever had in your whole life, because there were 4 people that gave you so much love and so much respect.
yeah, but it's like I always say, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
True.
So if you stay ready and do your shit on stage, you don't have to worry about preparing to showcase for something
You don't
like
give
that.
a shit how many people in the audience. If
You
they're
have
there,
fun
they
with
want to
them.
have a good time.
Yeah, I focus on the first of all, focus on the tables that love you.
Right.
Even if there's a table that hates you, ignore them. Don't give them any love. Focus on the people that are into it.
Excuse me, she'll go, oh, they hate me. How about you?
No, I don't. I just ignore him. He hates me. Fuck this guy.
Exactly. That's usually
Fuck this guy. You know?
I did. That's why he hates me.
That's why he hates me. But it's like these kids. And don't get me wrong. I've been seeing a lot of new jacks coming up that are really funny, and they have it. And I'm like, and I grab them. I'm like, stay, do what you're doing because you have it. Fuck these other kids. You have it. And I try to like.
What happens? A storyline, like when you put the story on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you put your story. I tell these comics all the time, I said, you're looking at everybody else's story and you're thinking like, oh my God, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. You know what? It's your journey. You know, stop looking at what everybody else has or doesn't have. Because the funniest thing is when you say something to the people that you think that has, they're like, what are you talking about? I'm scraping by like my heels here.
Well,
like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like we always think the grass is greener on the other side. Well, maybe the fertilizer doesn't work. You never know.
Yeah, I mean the fertilizer smells like shit. But that happened when I first started this podcast. The first inclination of it before I revamped it, I had a comic guest, a mutual friend. She rode the train back with me, and she just starts going in on, you need to give me all your corporate gig bookings. And I said, what corporate gig bookings? You know, you're always working. You need to give me some of those. And I was like, first of all, I'm not always working too. I'm not, if you've seen my act, I am not corporate, honey. I am unappropriate.
You're corporate after the party's over.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
late
corporate
show.
when they close.
And then the late show.
Exactly. So it's like, I'm corporate behind
the
closed doors. Yeah. I'm the Diddy corporate. And, but that's an example of she just sees what she wants to see and what I'm doing. And it's like,
But you got your own journey. Like that's,
Yeah.
You know what's weird? It's like we're old school. So it's like, you know right away, if I have something that you fit, I'm taking you.
yeah.
You know,
And I've done that with all of you guys.
Absolutely.
I've said, hey, this gig, I had a gig, there was a corporate gig that came to me, not to offer it to me, but they came to me because they trusted my judgment on comedy. And they said, we're looking for an act for a corporate event, and we know you know everybody.
Right.
Can you give us a woman of color who's clean, TV friendly, and, you know, not ghetto or crazy or psycho? And the first person I thought of was Leanne Lord. And she fit the bill. It was corporate. They want to talk tech stuff. She's into tech. She's like Star Trek and all that.
get her a glass of wine.
So it's like, exactly. So again,
Like when we were doing the podcast.
like
everybody's
Leanne after,
drinking and wine, you know.
Leanne after dark.
Yes.
But I was like the first person. They said corporate, clean, tech. And I was like, woman of color. I said, Leanne Lord. So I called her up and I said, I have a gig for you. Have
Give me
fun with it.
20%
right?
and we'll be friends.
And I just sent her on her way. And she told me later that she crushed it. And they told me they loved her and they want to use her for more corporate events. Boom. I wasn't going to get it anyway. So why would I hide it? If it's a right event, then I know that, and also too, always remember this too. If you hook somebody up through somebody, someone comes to you and says, do you know anybody that fits this description? You know damn well it ain't you. All right, so calm the fuck down. So you give them a really great recommendation. It makes you look better to them than they did before because now they trust you. Now they're going to think of you differently because you hooked them up and you didn't have your ego involved. They're going to look out and come back and hook you up with something because that's exactly what happened for me. And it's like you put positive
But
energy
that's
out.
what should happen, but a lot of times it doesn't happen.
Yeah, but I don't care if
I
it
know
happens.
you don't care. But I'm just saying, like, the one thing I learned
You
real
have to
hard
be
is nobody owes you nothing in this career.
You have to be unconditional. You can't expect people to do for you because
and
they're
no matter
not.
how good you are to people. It
Doesn't matter.
all the time.
But it doesn't. But you can't be good to someone just because you want them to be good to you. It doesn't work. You be good to someone because
let it
that's
go.
who you are.
Right.
And you keep it moving because if your tank is full, it won't matter how many good things
My
you do.
tank is full. I ain't moving.
But it's like, you know, we all look out for each other, you know, and I always think of like gigs. If there's a gig that comes up, if it's not for me, I'm like, who would be good for this? I know, and I'll send it to
But I know no matter what gig you're gonna go to, you do well. So I also sometimes don't like that, like when they pinhole you, because I've worked clean, I've worked dirty. I'm myself, like, you know.
Yeah, well,
You could put you anyway. You judge the crowd. Like I walk in a room, I look at the crowd, I go, okay, what kind of crowd is this? What kind of material do you think they're going for? I listen to the other comics.
yeah, I listen,
You know,
I gauge the
Know your room.
But see, that's also
New Jacks don't do too well
because they don't have the experience.
and it's not on YouTube or
You know,
it's not a podcast.
And there's gigs that I literally say, you know what, I don't want to do that. I'm not, because I've had a lot of clean stuff. They're like, can you just do 20 minutes of clean? I go, but my brain doesn't work that way. I talk about dark, twisted stuff that makes me laugh. So I'm not going to change my act for anybody.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I have to. You know what I was thinking when I was looking at that T-shirt over here? You should get your T-shirt that says "I survived Christy Miller's act." That's a good one.
That is a good
Sell
one. That'd
out.
be great merch.
With your little dumbbell keychain that you have that
Yes.
somebody almost robbed me for.
Did they really?
Yeah, it was my server at Broadway. I was like, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. Go back.
Tell them to call me. It's $10.
15,
20.
25, 230.
100 and
You want your initials on it?
yeah, that's $100 and I'll split it with you.
Thanks. You can tell the Jewish person over here is
I learned well.
hanging out with me and Dice.
You are
$9.99, not $10. We're good.
Yoda, Luke Skywalker.
Oh God, he's dead. He's dead this week.
But yeah, it's just it's
It's a different game today.
yeah, I just don't care. I know where my journey is. I know where I'm going. I know what my focal point is. If you're along for the ride, great. If you're not, I can't help you. But the thing is,
The right chip and gas.
yeah, hilarious. So, you know, I don't worry about what other people are getting. I don't worry about if I help someone, if they're going to help. I don't care because I can help myself.
Also, it's karma. Comes back to you no matter what.
You know, I have a lot of great karma and I'm really blessed. And every day I wake up and
But
I
you know
thank
what?
God.
It comes in all different ways. Like you train people, you do your shows. You know, you're a great writer. You're a great study. Like there's a lot of things you do other than just, you know. But that's who you are.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with me. Like I was feeling like, believe it or not, like I was feeling really shitty last week. Like, well, and I had to go to the screening for the second time. And the first time I went to the screening, these two women were sitting in front of me. I was by myself.
Was this for Coney Island Cousins? Great.
And
where's that streaming at? Or where's it
I
coming
don't know where it's streaming yet, but we're just doing like last night was Soho.
Okay.
Film festival, like a lot
Okay.
of different festivals.
Oh, so it's in the festivals right
Yes,
now. Okay,
absolutely.
good. So that's something to look
And it's
out
getting
for.
really good reviews. But the thing is, woman sat in front of me, two broads. They were like maybe my age, a little older. When the movie, they were talking about me the whole movie.
Of
They didn't know
course
I
they
was,
were.
but they didn't know I was sitting back.
That's the best. That's the best.
So when the movie was
'Cause
over, I
that's
go
real.
like this. Why do you keep talking about me the whole movie? They go, oh my God, it's you, it's you, it's me. Stop talking about me. And they were dying. Then the other night when I went, I hadn't seen the movie in a while.
Right.
And I also looked at it differently because I wasn't sitting in back of people talking about me.
Right.
Because I could not hear what they were saying. You know what I mean? I had to listen.
Yeah, of course.
So the other night, I was feeling, and after the movie was over, one of the actors, she was great.
Mhm.
She had a scene I wasn't in.
Mm-hmm.
And she said to me, you're a star.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you walked on screen, it was like, wow, you could just tell you're a star. You lit up the whole, and she made me feel,
Watch your mic.
sorry, I was grabbing my tit and mic together.
Oh no, the tit would be down here.
Yes.
Da-dun.
She made me feel so special. And it was one of those things that I know I've done for other people. You know, like, listen, I don't give a shit if I never see you again. I thought you were great, whatever. You know what I mean? That's who I am. I don't give a fuck. But for somebody who, you know, is from like a mostly Russian community, because a lot of there was the major characters in the film spoke Russian and English.
Mm-hmm.
It was like what you needed. It was like
Yeah.
after you work out, you're like, oh my God, I didn't want to
Well,
do the gym today, but I went anyway.
it's a validation. Hold on a second. Prince, go lay down. Anyway. Like I've ever said that to a man in this room.
Yeah.
Anyway. But it's just a validation because it's someone you don't know.
But you never know where it's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. It's someone you don't know. You're not expecting it, and it's not prompted. It's just organic and natural. And that's always, I always take those moments, like the ladies talking about you the whole film in front of you, not knowing you were there. The lady walking up and saying you're a
He was
star.
back at me, and she kept pointing at me when they were doing the Q&A. And it was just like, I swear, I know this sounds a little crazy, but I felt like it was my husband speaking through her.
Yeah.
Because everything she was saying, I've heard from my husband.
Of course.
So it was like, Willie, is that you? You're Russian. And you're a woman.
You're a Puerto Russian.
Yeah, boy, oh, that would be good. The food would be kick ass.
Oh, yeah. And also conquer the world. But yeah, it's like stuff like that to me. You said Willie because her husband passed away like 300 years ago.
15 or 16 years.
Same thing. Yeah, it's been a long time. But I always say that when people come up and say stuff like the random, I always say those are your spirit guides or your angels or whatever you believe in, letting you know you're on the right path.
And just like when you find a feather, like any kind of bird feather on the floor when you're walking, somebody who passed is thinking about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of feathers. That's what I say, a flock of feathers travel together.
Then my pillow was a cemetery.
I don't know how you got through school without a helmet.
I don't know how they got through school without a helmet with me.
I think you were dropped on your helmet.
I wish I was. I could use a helmet right now.
I could use a drink. I'm dying. It's so fucking hot in here.
Oh my God, calm down.
Time we have.
Do you want to go now? No, we have 10 minutes.
Okay, the longest 10 minutes of my life.
Pretend you're on stage. It'll go by quick.
I don't know if I understood that too well.
Yeah, because we're pros. 10 minutes is nothing for us.
I always say it takes 5 just to say hello.
For me, it takes 20.
For you, it takes fresh underwear and leggings.
So, Coney Island Cousins.
My show, and I've been doing some fundraisers. I'm doing a fundraiser in Jersey. Check out my storyboard. It's going to be in Jersey to fundraise. I worked with Rob in Ruffalo before.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta tell you, every time we do a show, the people there just appreciate you so much.
Dude, Jersey, I'm sorry. Jersey has some...
Every time you say Jersey, you know what I think of? Otto and George. Oh, man, you lucky hooah. We're moving to Bayonne. Every time you say Jersey, I'm telling you, I think of Otto and George. Pack your bags, you lucky hooah, hooah. We're moving to Bayonne. I'm like, Bayonne.
For those of you, Otto and George, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
And we never know
One
which
of the
one
greatest acts ever.
ever. And also, we never know which one was the dummy.
Yes, he did have a dump. But he put him in the. If we would people were traveling with him, and they put him in the trunk, he would stop the car to see how he is in the trunk.
Yeah. And how that one guy, the drunk guy in the audience, was heckling and tried to fight the puppet.
Dead.
So dead. Oh my God. But Jersey, to me, Jersey and Boston, believable crowds.
Like Long Island's like that too.
Yeah, Long Island too. Chicago was pretty great.
Chicago.
But Chicago was fantastic. But then again, I was with Andrew Dice Clay at the...
Oh, that's so difficult.
I know.
You want my picture? I get here for the picture.
At the Des Plaines Theater, and it was 1,500 people in that place, and it was phenomenal. Like, they were delicious.
You know what the great part is? It's just like when we work together. You know, if I'm hosting, if you're hosting, if, you know, you're featuring, if you had, like, doesn't matter. It's like, when you roll with people that really appreciate your talent and know you.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy had you stay at his house, your family with him. Your mishpucha, as we say.
Yes, mishpucha.
And la familia if you're Spanish.
Yes.
With no socks.
And also,
but anyway,
and also Italian, la familia.
Right. But it's a different vibe. It's like, that's old school. Like, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, back in the day, Sharon Rearick, rest her soul, she passed this year.
Oh, yeah.
She lived in my house.
Yeah.
And then she went home to Ohio, you know, to see her family and whatnot. But it was like, you live with people, you hung out with the people, you know, it's like you lived, you breathed, you eat together, you do everything.
You know, he was one of the people like, oh, he's so, like, his, you know, he always has us as his babysitters. You know, like there's a small list of us that babysit him.
Who are you talking about, Dice?
Dice, yeah. So.
And also, he gets to work out with you. You know you're eating.
Yeah,
and you fix his fucking shower head.
I know.
Come to my house.
Right.
Come on to my house. My house. Come on.
But it was like, it was so easy. Like, it was so, he goes, you know, he's like, you never know someone. I go, what, until you live with them? He goes, yeah. And we lived together for 2.5, almost 3 weeks.
Well, the wife's calling you up going, when are you coming back? He was so over the head when you were here. He didn't have a house and home. He lost 3 pounds. He's working out again.
Yeah, no, we were every day at the gym. It was great. And he's like,
you guys get into a routine. And then you know what? When you do leave, it's weird.
yeah.
It's like, oh my God, you're not here.
He called me the next day. I miss you. Hilarious. I go, well,
Send
let's
me a
hang out
check.
again, and then
Send me a
you'll hate
check.
me.
Send me a check.
No, he's the best.
I know he's the
really
best.
the best and the most generous. Like, I'm lucky the 2 icons I got close to in my career coming up as a comic was Paul Mooney and Andrew Dice Clay. And those 2 are 2 of the most generous, giving, unconditional human beings I've ever been around. I mean, some
You've
of the
been
best
around everybody. We're 100, okay?
I know. Hello. Hi.
Yeah.
Grassy. No. Yeah.
God.
Hey, sweetie, can you hold it up a little higher? If they would have had Jesus like this, it would have been YMCA. Nothing. Dead.
He was Jewish. I'm sure he didn't dance to.
YMCA.
Hi, MCA. Hi means life.
Yeah, that's.
There you go.
I'm
I
high.
met the guys. I met the Indian guy. He came back in the day to New York Comedy Club when Al owned the club on 23rd.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's your Indian guy?
The one from YMCA.
Oh, the Indian.
What was it called?
The Native American
boys. What was it called?
Village people.
Village people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
The guy who owns Geno's. I met a lot of people. Didn't do shit for my career, but
Did nothing. See,
nothing, not a thing.
You know why, Janice? We sucked the wrong dick.
I don't. That's the problem.
I know. We
If
suck.
I suck him, I marry him.
Yeah, I know. I have to love him to suck
I
him.
said, are you a sucker? Well, let's, all day sucker, Stevie Wonder. All day sucker.
He can't see it coming or himself. Good night. But before we go, my love,
Yes, darling.
I always wrap up this show with 2 questions.
Wrap it up in Georgia. That's my favorite phrase. How lucky can you get?
Anyway, not very. Look where we are.
Sweetie.
Sweetie. Anyway, first question is there a bit a comic has done that made you go, God damn it, that was brilliant. I wish I had written
Everything Joan Rivers has ever said.
that. I love you.
And I know, she also had some of the best writers. you
She
know?
really did.
But one of her lines I love, she's, oh, can we talk? You know, you're getting old when someone you think pinched your ass, but they didn't. They stepped on it. Grow up. And then she talks about Christmas, how the Jews love,
She has one of my favorite jokes, too. If God wanted Jews to exercise, he would have put diamonds on the floor.
dead. Or on the treadmills. Dead.
Because you have to bend over to pick
Yeah,
it up.
but we
down.
would still be negotiating.
So
can
funny.
you give me the membership for $9.99? Oh, it's $10.
so great. It's so great.
I loved. I get to meet her. She had a talk show for a short period of time in New York, and she said afterwards, you say hello.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Are you working?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Good, you're on your way." And then
Yeah.
But and the funny thing is, I love Don Rickles also. Those 2 are like maybe my favorites my whole life.
The king.
Before the queen of fucking idiot mean
No, not that
started
thing.
doing shit. But before her, when she ruined comedy,
yeah,
please,
She's now a get a life coach.
please get a life, get surgery, and then you could talk about how wonderful life is.
She can. Yeah. Anyway, we don't
Anyway,
say her name on.
next topic.
But Don Rickles is
My
the
favorite.
king. The
My
king.
favorite.
The king.
The best.
And then the second question is, because Paul Mooney always ended his shows with street jokes, but he would Mooney-eyes them, put his little Mooney twist to
It
them.
always had to do with the white family was sitting in the corner.
And he would destroy the show. That was his closer.
And then they do on the Apollo.
Exactly. So, and everybody has a good street joke, especially us old heads. We love a good street joke.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite street joke?
Well, I have the one I told you last time when I did the podcast, before we got such great, equipment and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I told you the joke. My mother, she's 4'11". My father's 6 feet 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
My whole life, my father tells jokes like that, but like while we're eating,
Of
or when we're
course.
in the car, and you can't go anywhere. You're
Yep.
stuck like a hostage,
Mhm.
So it goes. A blind man walks past the fish market. He says, "Good morning, ladies."
Hey-o!
Every time. My other one I just heard recently, and I said it in a car with comics. We couldn't stop laughing the whole trip, and it's the dumbest fucking thing ever.
That's why it's so
It's
funny.
like a joke you would tell to a 9-year-old when you're babysitting them, so they have something to do.
Again, comics are 9-year-olds.
Well, I'm sweet 16. So the one, he says, "What do you call a Mexican with 3 eyes?" Ay. And we were laughing the whole fucking time. I'm like, that guy laugh. The guy was Spanish. He didn't stop laughing the whole trip. I was like, why? Ay. Whatever way you say it, it's funny.
Ay.
My arms, I just flew in. My arms are tired. But
Yeah. Like, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs on the front porch?
Bob,
Matt. Good night.
Bob, Matt. Hey, we're
Bob's in the pool.
Bob's in the pool with the two.
Oh, God, I love you, Janice
Come
Messitte.
support my show.
Yeah,
Okay?
so tell everybody
And
where
every
it is.
week
when-
at Broadway Comedy Club, it's 318 West 53rd, between 8th and 9th. Come, say you heard me on the podcast. I'll even put this bitch on that night. Bring some friends so I could pay her. She has to walk around the corner. I have that every Wednesday usually. Just check, because once in a while they'll have something else there. I don't want you to get there and I'm not there.
And also,
Also, my
socials.
movie, Coney Island Cousins, Janice Messitte. I can't lie about. What am I going to say? One Funny Broad is my email at MSN, which is like,
Oh, yeah.
and then Janice Messitte, JANICEMESSITTE.
Yep.
And
And
always told
Coney
me I'm
Island.
Italian. I'm like, no, I'm
No.
a Sephardic Jew. Thank you.
Exactly. You're a safari Jew.
Or I'm a pizza bagel. Half
Good
Jewish,
night.
half Italian. I'm a pizza bagel.
And be on the lookout for Coney Island Cousins at all the film festivals. And that's huge, though,
Yeah.
because the film festivals launch it.
I
So,
love it. I just
And the
hope whatever that
reviews?
woman said the other night comes true. From her lips to my ass to God's ears. Hey!
from her lips to your ass to the bank accounts of everybody in Hollywood.
Or in Manhattan. Eat it. Like cheesy.
But, that's been our show. Don't forget to follow the show as well at Old
Yes.
School New School
And
Comedy
press
on Instagram. And you can follow me as well at Christy Miller Comedy. And, please follow us, like us, leave comments, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all that truck, blah, 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 blah. And don't forget to share the show. We love you. See you next week.
Good night.